Hello, and this is my video for Lab1, Task 1. First, I started by typing the command syscontrol -w net.ipv4.ip_forward equals 1 in each of the machines. I had already done this previously, so all I'm doing right now is showing you that it's already been done on all machines. There's VM2, and now for VM3. All right, now we're moving on to step 2, which is editing the resolve.conf file. Again, I'd already done this previously on VM1 and VM3, so now I'm just showing you that the name server entry is there and working on both machines. Resolve.conf, and there it is. So now both VM1 and VM3 have a name server. So now they're able to do DNS lookups and such. Now to move on to step 3, which is changing the max transfer unit on all the machines using the command ifconfig, the interface MTU, and then 1456. I had already done this previously, so now I'm doing ifconfig on each machine to show you that each of the interfaces has an MTU value of 1456. There's VM2, one of the interfaces, and the other should be good. And now VM3. There it is. All right, now on to step 4, which is changing the default gateway of VM1 to the IP address of the interface on VM2 that's connecting to Net1, which is the network that VM1 is on. First, I had to delete the old default gateway on VM1, and then I re-added a new default gateway, which is the IP address of the interface on VM2. Now I'm doing the same thing showing you that I did the same thing on VM2, and that's what was highlighted is the IP address of the interface connected to Net2 on VM3. Now I am showing the current firewall configuration using the command iptables-l-n-v. Now, it has all of this information in here right now because I enabled the UFW firewall, so that added a bunch of default stuff. But before I did that, all it had was 3 entries. It was just like the input, output, and forwarding chains, and it just showed that there was nothing in them before I enabled the UFW. And now I'm typing out the commands that one of the commands that we had to use for enabling NAT traversal on VM2. It's iptables-a, the chain, which is forward, -i, the interface, which is eth1-o, eth0-j accept. I had to do that, except I also had to do it for eth0 to eth1, and then I also had to do 2 additional commands on the post routing chain that enabled the NAT traversal, which went in with the same format as the IP tables command that I just typed, except that it jumped to the masquerade chain. Okay, right now I'm showing you the output of route-n on VM3, showing you that the default gateway is 192.168.3.1, and that, yeah. Now I'm about to ping VM3 from VM1. Now I was just looking up the IP address for VM3. Can't type clear. So now I'm pinging the interface that's on VM3 that's connected to Net2. This also would have worked for the interface that's connected to the internet. There's 10 ping packets, all to VM3. And now I will be sending 10 ping packets to the name server 8.8.8.8 to show that the internet is working. And there it is. And 10. And now to definitively show that it's working, I'm opening Firefox and navigating to a website, Google, to show that it's working. Woot woot. All right, this is the start of task 2. I had, to preface this, I wanted to say that I did complete task 2 before recording this video, so during this video there's going to be some deleting of old rules, or whenever I show the status of the firewall, there's going to be some rules in there that are from completing the tasks. Right now, I am telnetting from VM2 to VM3 and from VM3 to VM2 to show that Telnet is installed and Telnet is working. Ta-da! Telnet works on both. Now I'm going to log out of both of them. All right, now for step 3, which is displaying the current firewall configuration. So UFW status. And see, there's a rule that is from completing the task. And there are other rules from completing the task beforehand. Now, what I'm going to do next is step 4, performing the enable, disable, and reload commands on VM2, just to show that I know them. Disable turns off the UFW, enable turns it on, and reloads the firewall. Now it's on to step 5, which is preventing VM3 from doing telnet to VM2 using firewall rules. I had done this previously, so I used an old rule, UFW deny from VM3 to any port 23 on the machine. Right now I'm going to try telnet. Oh, it doesn't work. Now for step 6, which is preventing VM2 from doing telnet to VM3 using the firewall rules. So since I did it before, I'm going to reuse an old root command that I had. So UFW deny from VM2 to any port 23, update the rule, reload the firewall. Now I'm going to attempt to telnet from VM2 to VM3. And it's not working, so the firewall is working. All right, now it's time for step 7, which is opening any website in Firefox web browser on VM3. So I have to delete the last 2 rules in my firewall because of the website that I chose to navigate to. So I'm deleting those now. Reloading it to make sure that the rules being deleted is effective. Now I'm going to navigate to a website. This is a website that I have on a server that I made. AC was awesome. All that cool stuff. Now I'm going to go to step 8, which is preventing VM3 from accessing that website. Now I'm going back through my command history to find the command that I had already done to deny this website from responding to my machine, which is denying my machine outward traffic to that website on port 80. And I'm opening this in a private window because before recording this video, whenever I was completing the task, I found that the session cached this. Now you'll see that it's opened again, but since the website I use has HTTPS, I need to block port 443 for that website. Now I'm reloading it, and I also found that in the private window it was cached in the session, so I'm opening a new private window, and now it's just loading and loading and loading, showing that the firewall is working. All right, now I'm showing the firewall status for step 9, display current firewall configuration. I did that just for fun, because the next step is for blocking all incoming service requests from VM1 to VM2 on port 80. That rule is already in place. I'm going to delete it. Yes. Now it's deleted. Now I'm going to re-add that rule. Update. No, it's reload to make sure that delete persisted. Now I'm going to deny all incoming traffic from VM1 to any on port 80. So I'm blocking port 80 for that machine. Now, VM1 cannot access my virtual machine on port 80. Now that's step 10 completed. Now step 11 is blocking ICMP ping requests from VM2 to VM1. When I started recording this video, I kind of had it backwards in my head. I thought that I had to block VM1 from pinging VM2. Well, first I had to delete the rule that I had in place from completing the task before. Now I'm pinging VM2 to show that's working, but if the rule's in place correctly, I'd still be able to ping VM2 anyway. Now I'm going to switch to VM2 and show that VM2 can, in fact, ping VM1. It's working! Now, in the first time I completed this, I found that even though I added this rule, which is denying VM2 access to my machine on port 7, which port 7 I found was the ICMP or ping port, I found that with UFW, I could still ping like I'm showing now. And then through my internet research, I found that there is an IP tables command that will do exactly what I want. And actually, it's the IP tables command is in place, or the rule in the IP tables is in place right now as I'm editing this UFW. But for some reason, it's not working. And I couldn't figure that out. Well, right now, what I thought was, oh, I'll re-add it, re-add the rule, reload the firewall, and to my surprise, still didn't work. And so what I had to do was I needed to disable UFW on VM1. And then I'm entering the IP tables command from memory. It was IP tables -a input, and then -s is the source, which is VM2. And then I did -p for the protocol, and that's Icmp. And then my memory got a little fuzzy. I knew it was -m and then Icmp, but I thought there was something after. I couldn't remember. So now I'm going to delete all the things I've just typed out, and I'm going to go through my command history to find the exact command that I used. Delete everything. And scroll. Scroll to my heart's content. And there it is. -m, which is match Icmp, and then -- Icmp type echo request to, and then make it jump to the drop chain. Wanted to make sure that ping did not work. And now it doesn't. Now, on for step 12, logging traffic on the ETH0 interface of VM2. So now I'm going to enable logging on VM2, which is UFW logging on. There is the reason I'm entering like logging all or logging any is because I know that there's a command that will allow me to log any level of logging, but I couldn't remember it, so I just turned it on, which I think by default logs everything, maybe high level. And I'm in the var log directory because I found that whenever you turn logging on, UFW logs to the syslog and a log file, UFW.log. And I'm finding the command that I used to show the commands. I decided to output the log entries that contained UFW in them. There they are. And so as you can see, I did this before, so I pinged the ETH0 interface on VM2, and that's what that in ETH0 was log entry was showing, that the UFW was logging it. And now, time for step 13, which is enter the save command to save the current firewall configuration, which is IP tables -save. There it is. And then I entered that on all 3 machines, and that completed step 13 and task 2. Thank you for watching.